Welcome back to Pillow Talk. This is Kevin Fear, president of Mattress Express. And this is Pillow Talk, a show about sleep. You know, you say, a show about sleep. Why are we talking about sleep? Sleep's important. Sleep, you spend a third of your life sleeping, and it affects everything you do. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over, but it's so true. And it's something we don't pay enough attention to. And if you want to have a better life, a higher quality of life, get a better night's sleep. It's really that simple. I can't, and you don't realize these things maybe till later in life sometimes, but it's true. Today we're going to talk about drowsy driving. Drowsy driving. And people say, well, no kidding, drowsy driving is no good. But you really don't think about some of these things until we talk about it. I told the story on a recent show, 30 years ago. When I was a kid and I got out of college, I had this, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. I like to be in business. I like to help people. I like to make money. I like to sell things. I wanted to own a bar. What a foolish business idea that was for me personally. There's people that are very good at it. I wanted to own a bar, and I bought a bar in Oswego back in the early 90s, okay, with a couple of partners. And I'll never forget, I used to own a chain of insurance agencies, and at the time I worked in Watertown, New York. And I would drive from Watertown to Oswego after working all day in the insurance agency. So I'd get there 6, 7 o'clock at night into Oswego, New York, living in Syracuse, right? So here I am driving to Watertown in the morning, hour drive, working all day, then driving an hour or so into Oswego, and then working at a bar until 2 in the morning. And I remember driving home one night. It was a cold fall or winter night. I don't remember a lot of snow, but I remember it being cold. And I was exhausted. And I don't know if you've ever been this tired when you're driving. It's terrifying. I would pull up to a red light and nod off. So it's bitter cold winter. I would roll the windows down. I would turn the radio all the way up and take off. And that's good for about 10 seconds. And then I was nodding off while sleeping. I never did it again after that. I mean, it was terrifying. I literally was driving down 481 and I started hearing a rumble and before the days of rumble strips in the road. I woke up and realized I was off in the gravel at about, with my cruise control set at 60 miles an hour. It was terrifying. So it's dangerous. Don't do it. If you're that tired, call an Uber. We didn't have Ubers back in those days, but call yourself an Uber or a friend or, go in the back seat and crash for a little while. How common is drowsy driving? While there are no exact measurements of drowsy driving, research indicates that it is disturbingly common. The National Sleep Foundation did a survey in America. A poll found that 60% of adult drivers reported driving while drowsy in the past year. Now, you don't have to be that exhausted. This is just drowsy, tired, not really 100%, not focusing is what I'm taking from this. Survey data from the CDC indicated that 1 in every 25 adults had fallen asleep behind the wheel in the past month. That's terrifying. You could kill somebody. And if you're not getting a great night's sleep, this is what happens, especially if you're you're working a lot of hours. And believe me, there's a lot of people out there trying to make ends meet, killing it. You got to get a good night's sleep. What are the dangers of drowsy driving? And you say, well, you could have an accident, right? Well, but listen to this. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in 2017, drowsy driving led to at least 91,000 crashes, and that's just the ones they know about, resulting, in roughly 50,000 injuries and 800 deaths. It's dangerous, folks. If you're asleep, you don't get behind the wheel. Why is drowsy driving dangerous? Boy, say that 3 times fast, drowsy driving. Microsleepers. Microsleeps are when a person dozes off for just a few seconds, and when they occur while driving, it's easy for the car to run off the road or collide with another vehicle. That's what I was saying earlier. I nodded off when I was a kid, then I woke up and I was 2 wheels in the weeds. Okay, it was terrifying. Drowsy driving is dangerous even when a person doesn't actually fall asleep. Research shows that sleep deprivation leads to mental impairment. We talked about that in other segments. It is similar to drunkenness. with 24 hours of sleep deprivation roughly equates to a blood alcohol content of 0.10. So if you've been up for 24 hours and you try to drive, what they're saying in this article is that it equates to having a blood alcohol content of 0.10, which is DWI. It's terrifying when you put it in that perspective. What causes drowsy driving? What are you going to say? Being overtired, right? But let's really nail it down. Sleep deprivation. Lack of sleep is a leading cause of excessive daytime sleepiness. No kidding. Each adult should get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night. Sleep disorders. Many sleep disorders, such as obstructive sleep apnea, cause a person's sleep to be restricted, interrupted, and less restorative. I don't know why, especially guys, fight the CPAP. I went and I got my sleep study. I don't know how long ago it was, 10, 15 years ago. And I fought it. I had the CPAP, but I wouldn't wear it for a long, I'd be embarrassed to tell you for how long, but it was long, probably 5 years. I fought it off and on. When I finally embraced it, it changed my life. I hate putting it on at night, but I sleep so good with it on. When you do a sleep study where they hook you all up and they monitor your sleep, it's amazing how many times from snoring you're disrupted during the night. You can't possibly get a good night's sleep. And it affects your whole life. So if you're snoring, your partner's telling you you're snoring, go fix it. It'll change your life. It's one of those things when you finally do it, you say, duh, why didn't I do this a long time ago, right? Alcohol. Drinking alcohol can prompt sleepiness while also affecting the reaction time and decision making in ways that increase the risk of auto accidents. We're talking about what causes drowsy driving here on Pillow Talk with Kevin Fear. Medications. Excuse me, I'm just getting over being sick. Numerous medications cause sleepiness. Sleep aids, including prescription drugs, over-the-counter medications, dietary supplements that are taken at night may cause lingering grogginess the next morning. The time of day. Auto accidents from drowsy driving occur most frequently between midnight and 6 a.m. Interesting. Or in the mid-afternoon, which are the two times when sleepiness peaks. Mid-afternoon, what's that? It's on your way home from work. You're tired. You didn't sleep good. And you had to go in and work for 8 or 9 hours. Or if you're like me, 10 or 12 hours. Drowsy driving can affect anyone who takes the wheel, but certain people are at higher risk of car crashes related to drowsy driving, including people who drive for a living. Listen, if you're a long-haul trucker, you got to get a good night's sleep. Right? If you're on the road, if you drive for a living, UPS driver, FedEx driver, whatever, you got to get a good night's sleep or you're in danger. People who work long hours or regular shifts or night shifts, people with serious sleep problems, including insomnia and other sleep disorders, and teenagers who have less driving experience and high rates of sleep inefficiency. If you're around teenagers, that's probably all of them, right? What are signs that you should stop driving to rest? Frequent yawning, feeling dozing off, tired and droopy eyes or increase in blinking, drifting into other lanes or hitting rumble strips. That's what I was taught, but they weren't rumble strips back then. I was off in the gravel. Inability to remember the last few miles, missing a road sign or exit, following other cars too closely, or difficulty maintaining proper speed. These are all signs of drowsy driving. How do you avoid it? It's pretty simple, right? You plan ahead to limit the total driving hours, avoid driving during drowsiest times of day, budget time for rest, get a good night's sleep. No kidding, right? Avoid alcohol, and being a travel companion. Have someone with you. But watch for the warning signs when you're driving. Drowsy, sleeping. Everybody says, I can handle it. I'm okay. You don't realize what it does to your reaction times. It's more importantly that, listen, I say it over and over. I feel like a broken record. Sleep affects everything you do every day. Drowsy driving is just one of them. It affects your mental acuity. It affects your physical health greatly. It affects your productivity. It affects relationships. Next time you're going to invest in a sleep system, visit one of my stores. That's all I ask. I hope one of the things I go over in these programs helps you get a better night's sleep. And if it does, shoot me an email at pillowtalkquestion@gmail.com. I won't share your name if you don't want me to. I'll just say, Susie from Binghamton wrote in, whatever. But share your experiences. See if any of this stuff helps you. And when you need a new bed, shop with us. We have them in all price ranges. I don't want to scare you. We've got them all over the place, and we've got all kinds of payment options. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. This is Kevin Fear. I am president of Pillow Talk. Thanks for joining us on this show. We'll be right back at it next week, God willing. See you soon. Sleep well.